If you are over 40 or even 50 years old, what's the single best HIIT exercise that you can use to burn fat? And maybe you don't even know what HIIT is, but after days of digging through research, I finally found it the number one exercise that can help you lose as much as a pound a week and slash nearly 20% of the deep belly fat that drives things like diabetes and heart disease. Here's the catch. The same exercise that burns the most fat can actually backfire for a lot of people at your age. I'm gonna explain why in just a moment. And more importantly, I will give you the HIIT workout that's actually safer than that one, which my wife and I found out earlier this week as we practiced it. And the one that we will be teaching is more practical, still melts belly fat quickly, even if you're brand new to it, if you're dealing with old injuries like a shoulder injury or haven't worked out in years. So if you're ready to finally see real fat loss without wasting hours in the gym, stay tuned because I'm going to reveal the truth that most people never hear. Now, when most people over 40 or over 50 hear the words high intensity HIIT, high intensity interval training, they immediately think it sounds dangerous, sounds too hard for me. I've heard this over and over. But the science says opposite. Across dozens of studies and thousands of participants, even people who had arthritis, diabetes, heart issues, they were able to do HIIT workouts safely. In fact, not only was it safer, but when it comes to fat loss, HIIT actually works far better than the slow, steady exercise that most people have been told to do. So high intensity interval training. And not to mention that people that use long cardio sessions can actually eat away at the muscle that they're trying to build. So that's the engine, the muscle, that powers your metabolism. Meanwhile, HIIT does the opposite. It flips on the signals that target stubborn belly fat, especially the deep visceral fat packed around your organs. And it does so while not just preserving muscle, but actually increasing it. In one 12-week study, older adults doing HIIT workouts, high intensity workouts, lost about 20% of their visceral belly fat while adding 1.5 pounds of lean muscle. Another HIIT trial showed nearly 9 pounds of body fat burned in just 8 weeks. That is more than 1 pound a week just from this exercise alone, all while doing significantly shorter workouts than a traditional cardio or treadmill or a elliptical. How is that possible? When you push harder, even just briefly, your hormones respond in a very different way than if you just do steady exercise that never triggers those hormones. So as a result, your adrenaline goes up. It can spike by more than 400%. Your growth hormone, men and women, can spike by as much as 500 or more percent. These are the hormones that tell your body, burn fat now. That's why belly fat, which famously resists every diet and every workout, finally starts shrinking when you do more intense training. And that's not all. Some of the other fat burning benefits of HIIT are that in a 24-hour burn window afterward, it's called the afterburn effect. It keeps you burning fat long after the HIIT workout completes. It's my favorite part of high intensity workouts, meaning your metabolism continues to work for you after the workout is done. It reduces your resting cortisol levels by about 40% after 3 weeks of training. It's just burning up the built up stress in your body. And it even triggers autophagy, your body's cleanup system, recycling system to get rid of old damaged cells, to repair damaged cells or compromised ones. That not only burns fat, but it improves your ability to burn fat in the future. Now, if you're not convinced, here's the most exciting part. High intensity HIIT workouts do not just help you lose fat, but they can literally reverse your biological age, especially if you're older. In one study, told you I was in the research on this one. In one study conducted on adults between the ages of 40 and 65, just 12 HIIT workouts over a 4-week period of time made participants about 3.5 years younger biologically. They can measure the strain and the stress to come up with your biological internal clock age. It turned back that clock 3.5 years in 4 weeks. Meanwhile, the sedentary group that they compared them to in that same month aged the opposite direction biologically. So not only did you gain, but you prevented it from getting worse. And it can be up to as much as a 7-year swing in that single month of just sedentary, not doing anything, just no movement versus high intensity exercise. They found it could be as much as a 7-year swing in a single month. These studies are fascinating. Depending on whether you did HIIT or whether you sat still. And the best part of it is people over the age 40 or 50 actually stick with HIIT. Adherence rates are over 90%, far higher than long cardio programs or really challenging workouts in the gym or some other regimen. Why? Because it's quick and then it's more effective. You see the results faster. So it's less boring as well. And when you enjoy it, you keep doing it, or at least you only have to suffer for a small amount of time if you're that type of person. That's why HIIT is uniquely suited for older adults who want to burn fat. So really quick, before we get to the best HIIT exercises for fat loss, there's one simple test that you should do. We're going to go into a little bit of math here, just if you want to do this, okay? To see if your body is ready, if you have some kind of concern with your resting heart rate, the condition of your heart or your body. This test is called a heart rate recovery test. How fast your heart rate drops and recovers after exercise. It's one of the strongest signs of how healthy your heart is. So if there's any concern, I just wanted to throw this out there, okay? Not to lose you in how to calculate it, but if you want to, you can. People with poor recovery scores in this test are more likely to have heart-related issues over time. Whereas strong recovery scores, meaning you can quickly get your heart rate back down to its normal rate, they can handle more stress, bounce back after an intense workout. So note that in large studies with thousands of older adults, lots of them had existing heart conditions. HIIT workouts, high intensity workouts, proved to be very safe with rare issues ever reported. So obviously if some kind of heart condition, talk to your doctor about it. But I thought it was kind of cool to know, maybe you want to check this. How fast does your heart just get back down to normal? Like how strained and stressed is it? It's intriguing, especially having a father that had a heart issue. So here's how to do it, okay? A little bit of math. Choose any exercise you want. It's step-ups, cycling, jumping jacks, rowing, anything that gets your heart rate up fast, okay? Do a little bit of warm-up. Get yourself, get the blood pumping. Push yourself hard in that exercise for 2 to 3 minutes. Just do 2 to 3 minutes hard, brisk walking, some running, jogging. Push yourself a little bit, okay? Now the goal is to get close to your maximum heart rate. Now a very quick way to estimate your maximum heart rate is just take 220 minus your age. 220 minus your age. So if you're 60 years old, your max heart rate is likely to be around 160. 220 minus 60. I told you you get a little bit of math here, okay? So 160, that would be around max where you'd want to push yourself. 220 minus your age, okay? You should be working hard enough that it's difficult to get more than a few words out without gasping for more air. That's when you know you got that heart rate pegged pretty high. Now, step 2, the moment you stop the 2 to 3 minutes of exercise, check your pulse, or if you're using some kind of smartwatch or something, check where it's at. That's your peak heart rate. Okay, so you're going for 2-3 minutes, you're trying to get your heart rate up, you need to know you're doing it intense enough. So you're trying to get up above that range of 220 minus your age. If you're a 60-year-old, you're getting it up to 160 or a little bit above. And then you stop, check your peak heart rate. Then just sit or stand completely still for exactly 1 minute. 1 minute. So you get your peak heart rate was 165, and then you just stand completely still or sit. Let that heart rate come back down. Check your heart rate again right at that moment. Subtract the second number from the first number. That's your recovery score. So an example would be, let's say you hit 170 at your peak heart rate, and then 1 minute later, you're at 150. That's a drop for your peak heart rate right when you ended that exercise to 1 minute later. So it's very easy to do. Take your heart rate after a very intense exercise, wait a minute, check it again. The gap in between those numbers. So hit 170 at your peak, 1 minute later you hit 150, that's a drop of 20 points. That's a healthy recovery rate. For reference, what would be more normal in your 50s, a drop of 35 beats or more is considered excellent. Your body really recovers fast. In your 60s, 30 or more is excellent. 70s, you're going to look at 25. So every decade, it kind of slides down 5 more points. If you're in your 40s, you might see that 35 to 40 drop. So it kind of gives you a gauge of where that is. But you don't need an excellent score to start HIIT safely. As I was going through the research of this, I just thought it would be intriguing to know, how is the state of my heart? I'm going to push it and do high intensity. How well do I recover? Am I getting rid of the stress and the strain that high intensity exercise burns out of your body over time? So your heart is getting stronger. I thought it was a cool way to look at that. Anything above 18 beats to recover means you're good to go. But if you stop, and rest assured, if you're around 18, it's actually very common as you get older, okay? That it just, you don't recover quite as quickly. It's not necessarily a red flag. It just means you should ease into HIIT exercises more gradually. And I'm going to give you exactly how to do that in just a moment. On the other hand, if your number is under 12, like you get your heart rate up to 160, 1 minute later, you're at 150, there could be some conditions going on heart-wise, and some of you might be very well aware of this, or maybe there's some kind of uncontrolled blood pressure issue or something. That's it, just check it out with your doctor, okay? And that's what they mean. You know that little disclaimer? It always kind of like, I know you put it on everything. Please check with your doctor before you start any dietary changes or workouts. Like explaining what that means a little more, there's something practical I just gave you as far as, okay, just you can calculate right at the end of your workout, wait a minute, if that recovery, measuring your heart rate, is less than 12, just, hey, talk to your doctor about this, make sure everything's good, and then just ease into it, which I'm going to show you, like I said, exactly how to do that, okay? Brisk walking, light cycling, water aerobics, all of those things can strengthen your heart surprisingly fast, so then you can ease more in or more quickly in. There's other exercises you can supplement, was what I'm saying. So many people see their recovery score improve with just a few weeks of consistent exercise. So that's what I want to get to. The positive side of it is that HIIT is going to start to improve your heart rate. And you could retest it 4 weeks in, 8 weeks in. Retest your heart recovery rate every week or two. And as your number goes up, you'll know you're getting stronger, or you'll know you'll be ready to go more intense with your high intensity exercise. Okay, so what's the number one exercise for burning fat with high intensity exercise, interval training? If you're excited to hear it, please be sure that you like this video so that other people get a chance to discover this and all the research and the tools as well. There are plenty of HIIT exercises to choose from: squats, lunges, push-ups, burpees, mountain climbers, cycling. All of these can burn calories, but when researchers compared all the different ones, all the different forms of HIIT, and they put them up head to head against each other, one exercise kept coming out on top. Sprinting. It was sprinting. Outdoor sprint intervals are the most powerful fat-burning HIIT exercise ever studied. Hang with me for a second. In just 8 to 12 weeks, people doing sprint intervals lost nearly 9 pounds of pure fat. They also dropped about 3% of their body fat percentage. That's 3 to 4 times more fat loss than steady treadmill running, and double what most people got from cycling. Even more impressive, sprinting targeted the deep visceral belly fat. People lost almost 20% of the fat wrapped around their organs in just 3 months. It sounds incredible, right? Here's the problem. Sprinting puts massive stress on the knees and the hips and the ankles. It raises the risk of falls, which I did my senior thesis on in doctorate school, about how many people, it's like the beginning of the end when there's a fall for so many, or how much damage falls actually do. So we don't need any more risk for someone over 40 or over 50 or pulling a muscle or coming up lame. And unless you got access to a safe track, a safe field, it's just not very practical, okay? In fact, in several trials, people were more likely to drop out of sprint-based HIIT programs than other ones. And so for most people over the age of 50, it's just simply not the best choice, pulling muscles, getting injuries, but it is a great exercise for our younger crew. But that's why I recommend a smarter option. To get the same results that you're getting with a sprint, showing all the research, full body HIIT, full body circuits, combined movements that involve the whole body, squats, lunges, push-ups, mountain climbers, into short bursts. They are safer. We can teach them how to do it at any person, at any level that you're going to see in just a moment. And then they can be scaled to any fitness level. And they don't just burn fat. They build muscle. Sprinting is a one-trick pony. It burns fat, but it doesn't add meaningful muscle to your arms, right? Maybe your legs get stronger, some muscle there. But full body HIIT, on the other hand, it does both. And that matters because losing muscle is one of the main reasons that a metabolism slows down as you age. So as far as fat loss goes, studies show that full body HIIT can cut up to 8 pounds of fat mass in just 2 to 4 months, while adding 2 to 3 pounds of lean muscle at the same time. So what that means is the scale goes down and so do the inches. Inches are very important, and you'll lean up. Boosting strength at the same time by 20%. So then you're not just burning fat faster, you're improving your ability to remain independent as you age. And the best part, you can do full body HIIT workouts anywhere. No track, no treadmill, no fancy equipment. Just your own body weight. Plus, unlike sprinting, the workouts are endlessly scalable. You can add reps, you can shorten your rest, you can do them, lengthen the whole workout, you can add in weights really easily to keep progressing month after month, year after year. For example, let's take one of my 10-minute full body HIIT workouts. It's right out of our lifestyle members area to see how this works for both beginners and experienced people. And like in all my workouts, we have 3 different levels, okay? So we have a level 1, which is on the far right here, a level 2, which is in the middle. I'm very partial to that middle one there. And then level 3 on the far left. And so they have different color codes, right? Level 1's for beginners, anyone who needs to go easy when working out, okay? It's modified to put less stress in the level 1 on the body while still keeping your heart rate up. Level 2 is the standard version of the exercise without any added weight. And then level 3 uses additional resistance to make the workout more challenging, often in the form of dumbbells, and that's what's going to start to build muscle. Now, before getting started, we begin with a quick warm up, right? Getting the body dynamically ready, which means we're moving it, not just stretching it, to get it ready to go. 30 to 60 seconds of it, and during that, we're able to look at and see, okay, what are we doing for the day? Now, during the warm-up, we can do some jumping jacks. You can see it down in the corner going on here, running in place, some squats, and then we list out those 3 exercises. So in this case, the 3 that we're doing are the pulse skips that you can just see right here, okay? The pulse skips are first. And so that's where we are dynamically engaging the legs and the upper body. We're working on a little bit of balance here. A little bit of cross crawl training is what I call this, where you're activating your brain and your opposite legs. So you're working the balance of the whole body. With this position, you can add in, as you can see, some simple weights to make it more difficult, more challenging, or you can go level 1 and you can have a chair so that you can aid for support. Now, level 2 is going just, like I said, standard. Level 3, adding in the weights. All right, the second exercise that's focused on in this demo is a V-sit with a lateral raise. Now, what's happening here is you're working on your core. You could do this in a chair exercise on the ground for level 2, or level 3 has the weights. Now, that weights is really going to give you a good arm workout. All 3 of them are working on your balance. Keeping both legs bent as close as you can to 90 degrees. Level 1, holding some kind of, sitting on some kind of chair. Level 2, using the body weight. Level 3, adding in that extra weight. Working on balance, working on the core. Okay, then the third exercise that we move into, as you can see, there's kind of the demo. Exercise 2. And then number 3, star jumps. Now this looks a little bit intimidating at first for people, but when you see level 1 where you're not leaving the ground, there's no impact. You're going back and forth, you're involving the arms and the legs at the same time. Level 2 is getting a high intensity. You're breathing hard when you're jumping in the air like that. Level 3 is adding in a weight, a little bit of resistance. Now, anyone could probably get a pretty good workout by just doing level 2 as fast as you can go. Starting your feet are, width apart, then you do squat, and then you do a star up in the air. And you can see level 1 doesn't add that squat into it, protecting the legs. Now, to get fat burning results with these workouts, you'll want to perform each one of them for 50 seconds, and you move as intensely as you can move. And then you rest for a quick 10 seconds, and then you go to that second exercise, and you do that for 50 seconds. And then you take a 10-second break, and then you move into that third exercise that we just demoed. In between, you'll take that 10-second break and add a 30-second break in between sets. So you do each of the 3 exercises, and then you take a 40-second break in between, and then you do a set again, and then you take a 40-second break, and then you do one final set. Repeating the cycle 3 times, that's it, a 9-minute and 50-second workout. Less than 10 minutes. You'll be breathing hard, you'll be burning fat, you will be building strength all at once. And if you did that 6 days a week, that's less than an hour of exercise a week. And not to mention, you are far more likely to stick with it if you only have to do it for an hour a week. And when you're getting the kind of results where the number 1 fat burning exercise, you're seeing that change happen. Too many people not engaging in actually doing exercise. This is 10 minutes inside our lifestyle members area. This is workout number 92. There are hundreds of these on demand where you can just press play, follow along, makes it very easy to go through. You got a little bit of warm up. So while you're doing your warm up, you're watching what you're going to do for that day. And then here we go. 10-second countdown. This takes 10 minutes to go through. At the end of it, we add in bonuses from a perspective of abs. And then we also have a 3-minute therapy session to make it really easy to work on like a bad shoulder or something that's ailing you. That's how you tap into fat burning mode. So you can consider, we'll put a link for it below if you want to understand how to be a Living Good member, where you get lifestyle access to on-demand workouts like this. They'll put a link below for you for that, and you can check it out. Now here's the thing. Even if you crush your workouts, which I hope you do now, I hope I've inspired you to jump into 10-minute workouts, you won't lose fat unless you also fix how you eat though. Okay, nutrition, a great workout can't trump bad nutrition. Because if you're not eating the right way at the right time, then your body never flips into fat burning mode. That's why so many people stall out even when they are exercising. So in my next video, the 30-day blueprint to lose 20 pounds of fat, I walk you through everything you need to know to eat for fat loss, including the simple meal timing strategy that melts stubborn belly fat, the exact foods that keep insulin low and fat burning high, and then how to put it all together into a plan that works in real life, one that you can continue to follow long after 30 days are over. You just learned how to train your body smarter in a shorter amount of time. Now let me show you how to fuel it smarter. Now let me show you how to fuel it smarter. Click the link to watch the next video, and I'll see you over there. There we go, peeps. Sharp new training for you. Nutrition is huge, but I hear it over and over and over again from so many of you. I haven't done the workout yet. I haven't started the workouts yet. I haven't started doing the 10-minute work. You're doing the nutrition. You're leaning nutrition. You're struggling with nutrition. Add this secret weapon in 10 minutes a day. Coaches, will you grab the 30 and 20 as well and post that up, please? Add that in and throw in the 30 and 20 as well. Okay? Needed the pep talk. You can't outrun bad nutrition. Speaking of outrunning, I had to show this one to you guys because you stayed through that whole training, and I'll get maybe a couple questions here. The workouts, Holly, there's a couple example ones on the YouTube channel. You can post a couple of those up. The full, like, hundreds of on-demand workouts are coaches, all of our meal plans, everything. That's as a Living Good Daily member. They posted that up as well, okay? So coaches, you can maybe grab, and so people have a couple samples of back in the day. I used to take all my patients to big parking lots and do these 10-minute workouts. That's when we created it. And so I would work out with them on Saturdays in the parking lot. No joke. And so like hundreds of people were working out. It was super fun. But so the sprinting thing, I'm researching it this week, right? And Nurse Living Good and I, we like to catch some football games. We like to just hang out together and we'll watch a football. It was Sunday night. Excuse me, it's Monday night. And we're watching this and the highlights are on from a football game. And there was a play, I believe it was a Ravens player. I might forget the team, but he's a big boy. And he's like 330-pound lineman, picks up a fumble or maybe it was an interception and darts down the field. And they're just like gone. And it just to see like a big lineman like that, it's always a big deal. It's a big celebration. His teammates are all excited for him. And Nurse Living Good was watching it, and they're like, look at his, look at the speed on this guy. He was running at 18.7 miles an hour. She's like, it didn't look like he was running that fast. I'm like, he's 330 pounds. He's a mammoth on this, what he makes look as a small field. And he's on the field with blazing fast guys. She's like, I just don't, 18.7, is that fast? How fast is that? I think I could run that fast. And we proceeded to have this conversation for the next 15 minutes where she was convinced that she could outrun this 330-pound lineman in the NFL that just picked up a fumble and ran it to the end zone because it looked like he wasn't running that fast. Which then led to this whole conversation of like, babe, I don't think you could even outsprint me, let alone the 330-pound lineman, because I don't think I could outsprint that guy because he was moving, and I understand the dynamics of who he was around. And she's like, I could out sprint you. I'm like, I was the fastest guy on my high school football team. And then we had to go like relive the I ran the 40-yard dash in 4.69 seconds. And I'm like, I can't run that fast anymore, but that's probably faster than what you could run. And it led to this whole Nurse Livingood and I having some fun. And we were just giggling. And I'm like, there's no way. She was convinced. So the next morning at 8:30 in the morning, we find a field. And we're just going to... We're going to finalize this once and for all. So we actually did the sprint, okay, that I was talking to you about as the number one exercise that does burn fat, but it's just not very, it's a little dangerous, right? And so we experienced this, and I wanted to give you video proof of exactly what went down with Nurse Livingood and I. Here we go. So we're out of this field, and I set the camera up at the angle, and we're getting ready to get going. And round one, I'll tell you about in a little bit. But this is round two, where we're both going to start at the same time. So we're in the field. This is almost exactly 40 yards, and needless. Look at it. It's on camera. It's on camera. It's on camera. We got it. We got the camera. Nurse Livingood lost. I was cruising down the back stretch, and you notice I was just doing the look back of like, are you coming? And she's giggling. The first round, the next one we did though, I gave her like a 1.5 second head start. And so I had to kick it up a gear and give it everything I got. And I will tell you, the ground was slightly uneven, so like the right ankle kind of took a pounding, and then you're like, ooh, the groin just a little like, did I tweak it? Am I okay? Like full on sprinting, right? Even after the age of, 35, that range when professional athletes start to not be able to really sprint anymore. Like that's why over the age of 40, like shifting to high intensity, short duration exercise, much more of the key. But, Nurse Livingood just had to, sometimes you got to learn by experience. She's going to kill me for showing you guys that. I'm like, fine, let's go. She's like, all right, let's go to the field. So we're just barefoot running in a field and just figuring out our 40-yard dash together. And needless to say, she couldn't out-sprint Dr. Livingood, and she definitely, neither of us, was going to out-sprint the 330-yard lineman. And so then we're like running the math on how fast I was like, babe, I think you ran that 40-yard dash in about 6 to 6.5 seconds. She's like, well, how fast is that in miles per hour? I'm like, it's like 14 miles an hour. That guy was running 18.5 miles an hour on the field. Now, like really fast human would be 25 miles an hour. But she learned she could only run like 14 miles an hour. And, if you do it too often, you probably pull something. But it's the old like Instagram thing too. We were having a good time with it. It was like, when is the last time you saw your spouse full on sprint? Right? Just full out sprint. It's pretty funny to watch, actually. Just don't hurt yourself if you try it. And to get better exercise, try the HIIT workout. Oh gosh. So that was our morning the other day. That was our morning. No sneakers, just bare feet. We were doing grounding while doing sprinting. Wait, it looks like she beat you. Tony, she absolutely did not beat me. I was literally turned around looking at her, and she knew coming back that she was like, dang it. Oh gosh. You sneakers. No, it was grounding. It was grounding. We had to we were just, bare feet, and it was good. Oh yes, like Lindsay, my 44-year-old body could not do that anymore, right? So that's like, if you're over 40, like this HIIT workout, these 10-minute workouts, this is the way to do it. Now, this morning, I will be honest, I did 3 of them, okay? There are levels to this thing. You want to put some strength on and build some muscle with it? 3 in a row. My workout was 30 minutes. So there is level, and I'm only in a season of that, and I'll kind of divulge later sort of what I'm doing a little bit to put on some extra muscle, but that 10 still gets you. It still gets me, okay? But to put a little extra muscle, and go to level 3, or you can do multiple of them in a row, but so good. So maybe you want to try to watch your spouse sprinting if you want to have a good laugh, if you're still capable of doing that. And just know that 18 and a half miles an hour is cooking, no matter who you are. And it is even more impressive when you're 330 pounds. Oh, man. So, Lori, some of the foods that we're focused on, I'm going to be doing some more trainings here in October. I got a couple of them teed up. So, just building muscle and building your cognition, your mind after the age of 40, after the age of 50, it's just plaguing so many people. Put yes if you agree. Of just wanting to maintain muscle and wanting to maintain mental stability, cognition, switching tasks, memory, like getting some of that anxiousness and cortisol out of you. So I'm going to be leaning into that in October here. Very excited for it. And too many rods and screws to run. It's like, you don't have to run. You can do the 10-minute workouts. And I wouldn't revise it because it was like, oh gosh, I think we kind of tweaked ourselves a little bit there. Because we hadn't sprinted in a while either. So yes, Pam. So yeah, keeping that muscle, keeping the mind strong. All right, I'm hearing you guys. I'm paying attention and seeing, but it's like, this is something some people have been talking about. So I'm going to lean into that mid-October here and really dig in some new trainings, new research. But this HIIT exercise, right? Some really fun research behind that. It works. I challenge you to, if you've not, you're in one of our lifestyle challenges right now and you haven't done the 10-minute workouts, come on, get into it. You can do this, 10 minutes. I know maybe that 10 minutes sucks a little bit for you, okay? But it's over in 10 minutes. But it's usually high pace and high intensity, and it kind of just distracts my mind and then it's done. So I'm good with that, okay? As opposed to a lengthier workout. And I found I don't necessarily enjoy just like 60 to 90 minutes in a gym trying to do some lifting and then some do cardio. It's like there's a place for it, but I don't have time for that. And I don't have the focus necessarily, just not get bored with it. So this is a solution for you. I'll extrapolate more on it. And post your spouse sprinting videos in the group. Just let them run by in the frame. Put the frame forward and then just let the spouse run by full speed and record them and try not to laugh. It's a pretty funny thing to see, just grown adults just go back to middle school and try to sprint. Don't hurt yourself if you're not able to do it, but it's pretty funny. Or maybe challenge your kids to do it or something like that. So, keeping track of time. The video actually does it for you, Casey. It just goes all the way through it. Otherwise, I've gotten it down now where I've done it enough times so I know kind of where I'm supposed to be at, but it's like if I hit start, I'm going for 50 seconds, I'm breaking for 10. So then at minute 1, I start my next one. And I'm going for 50 seconds and breaking for 10. And then at 2 minutes, I'm going into my next exercise, 50 seconds, breaking for 40. Now I'm at the halves. So at 3.5 minutes, I start my second round. And then I'm going minute intervals from there. See, so you can kind of time it, get used to the first time or two you do it, even if you just had a just stopwatch on your wrist or your phone. Once you do it a couple of times, you understand your clips of where you're supposed to be. But in the videos, it just does it for you. It just counts it right down and you just follow right along. It tells you what's coming next. It's very easy in that regard. So, but check out some of the example workouts they posted up. Thank you for that, coaches, and that extra training from a food perspective. I'll be back, though, to go deep in on that side of things and try out a 10-minute workout. Or if you are a Living Good Lifestyle member, the coaching, the workouts, the meal plan, it's all right there. Just pick it up and use it in minutes a day. You can get in the shape of your life. You can do it. All right, peeps. Thanks for having some fun with me today. Thanks for breaking that down. Yeah, coaches, can you repost those so that 20 and 30 training, and then there should be that quick playlist for 10-minute workouts. Will you grab those too? Just post those up. Boom, boom. Okay? Yes, grown-ups forget how to stop and just play. And I would say Nurse Living Good drives that. She's a ton of fun. So they'll post those two up, and beginners do it without weights. Absolutely. Yep. And if you are a lifestyle member, then if you are a lifestyle workout, then yes, a lifestyler, go in, do your 10-minute workouts. You got that full section of them right here. Okay, this is in your workout area, 10-minute workouts in the members area. So if I just go back, here's all the workouts that we have. There's hundreds of them, 1 through 20, 21 through 24. 120. That's right in your members area. Okay. So check those out. Use them. All right, coaches. Thank you. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next Wednesday. Live Q&A. Another new training next Friday. Share this one. Pass it along. Help someone else out. Always having fun with you guys. Appreciate it. So go make it a great weekend. You might as well. You're never going to get it back. And go Hawks. Come on, Hawkeyes. Big game this weekend. All right. If you don't follow college football or the Hawkeyes, I understand. But I just had to put that out there.